Welcome back to the Lotus Life channel with Maya Janae. I'm Maya, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my five favorite webtoons that I read in 2019. So for those of you that don't know, there is a website and an app called Webtoon, and people there upload comics that they've worked really, really hard on, and I adore them. This list is going to go in order from my least favorite of the five to my most favorite of the five. I do adore all of them. It's just based on artistic taste more so than story or anything else, because I feel like the stories are pretty solid. Okay, never mind. So anyways, it's top five from my least favorite to my most favorite. Number 5 is Sub-Zero by Junpei. Sub-Zero it's really cool. I definitely like the art style. It's very colorful, but I would say that it is one of my least favorite art styles of the top 5. Story-wise, it follows two main characters. There is this girl, Clove, who is the princess of her clan kingdom, and a prince named Cairo, who is the head of his clan kingdom. And the both of them are dragons. And basically, dragons are people who are essentially, I want to say, possessed by these ancient creatures that inhabit their body. It's kind of like, if you like Naruto, think of the Nine Tails. So they have like a demon in their body that sometimes takes control, and sometimes they can access that demon's powers and utilize it for their own benefit. So basically, they're legit dragons, and these gorgeous, like, Japanese Hayao Miyazaki style dragons, which I do adore. And they the only difference is that they can shapeshift into the dragons. The problem is that, spoilers, Clove can't shift. Cairo can, and both of their kingdoms have been at war with each other for years, centuries. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline, but I do know that her kingdom, her half, has suffered the most, and so she's agreed to an arranged marriage with him. And the beginning of the story starts basically with her going to his kingdom to essentially help her people and end this senseless, useless war of fighting. Both sides have lost a lot, and so they really just want to bring a time of peace. But there are, of course, people in the story that, thrive off war. They enjoy the spoils of war, and so they don't want this alliance to go through, and they are stopping at nothing to stop it. And I enjoy that aspect of the story. I also enjoy their relationship, Cairo and Clove, and how it is slowly developing. It's definitely more on the adult side in terms of webtoon comics. Nothing scandalous has happened yet, but it's implied, and some things are, you never know, they get a little saucy. So I really do like this comic. There are other webcomics I'm liking, and it's definitely in the top 5, so I highly suggest it. Number 4 is actually the one that got me into coming to Webtoon, and it's Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe, Smythe. And so my best friend's younger sister told me about this webcomic. She screenshotted a picture of it for me, and she was like, "You've got to read this comic." And so it took me a couple weeks to a month to finally check it out. But the premise was that it is a retelling of the story of Hades and Persephone. Persephone, whatever. I'm going to say Persephone. It's a retelling of their story together. As some of you may or may not know, Hades is the king of the underworld in Greek mythology, and Persephone is a spring goddess who ends up spending 6 months of the year down in the underworld after she has eaten a forbidden fruit, if I remember correctly. And she becomes kind of like the queen of the underworld, and they rule together. So I was really into it. It is so interesting, the artwork, the art style. It's not always my favorite, but there are such subtle things that the artist does that is just stunning. Persephone, for example, her hair grows really long when she's distressed. She usually tries to keep it short. She starts blooming flowers out of her hair when, you know, she's happy or something good's happening. When she's angry, these red strings of fate kind of come out of her hair, and it's just so detailed and gorgeous. And I really like that they have their own separate things going on. Persephone has come to Olympus on a scholarship. She's 19, which is a little weird. They talk about the fact that she is a younger goddess compared to Hades, who's one of the kind of OG gods. Obviously there are other gods before him, but he is one of the more well-known gods and older gods, very old compared to her. And it's just weird that she's 19, like they had to give her a specific age. I wish she was a little bit older, but she's young and impressionable, and she comes to Olympus to join the eternal goddesses of maidenhood. I feel like I'm getting that wrong. I'll put it up on the screen, the correct thing that it is. And basically it's taking a vow of chastity to never date and have sex or anything like that. And I just recently found out, is that she decided to do this because she didn't think she was going to meet anyone who would change her mind on that thing. She didn't meet anyone that she was going to connect with on that level where she wouldn't want to do this. And that was also the only way she could get away from her mother. And Hades, he is in a mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically abusive relationship with this nymph who is very insecure with herself, and she's awful. But the author is really good at kind of making you feel something for her, but really not at the same time. So it's a nice fine line. And yeah, and just about their relationship developing as friends, and it's maybe something more. It's heading that way. I don't fast pass any of these comics. So somebody who's watching this review who might be a couple of chapters ahead of me might be like, well, why aren't you talking about this? It's because I'm cheap and I have not fast passed it. I will wait. I will wait until the free comic comes out. And that is just to keep me from spending money that I don't have to spend right now. So, yeah, that's where I'm at in the story. I highly, highly recommend it. It's gorgeous. Every person is a different color. Like Hades is blue, kind of like the Hercules Hades, and Persephone is pink, and Zeus is purple, and Hera is yellow, and Poseidon is green, and basically that. And just the way she captures them and their color and the aesthetics of the background. It's also very modern. Like there's cars, there's computers, there's phones, so they can text and stuff. And it's just a very interesting take on the gods and goddesses. And I thoroughly enjoy it. So number 3 is this comic called True Beauty by Yang Yi. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it is really cute. This one was hard for me because I was like, man, should I put this one first? I really like it. It's about this girl named Jung Young. It looks like Jug Young, but I feel like it's Jung Young, like the G is silent or something. And it starts off with her in middle school, and she is ugly. Ugly being that she has monolids, and she wears her hair in a messy bun, which, you know, honestly, if she just took her hair out of her bun, she would look a bunch times less ugly. Because her hair is bomb when it's down. It's so nice. But she wears her hair in a messy bun, and maybe she needs to fix her eyebrows and, you know, just like trim them up. I need to do that. This is and she's got acne. Oh wow. But so anyways, she gets made fun of when she's a kid, and she starts trying to teach herself makeup, and she takes it kind of to the extreme. where she gets double eyelid tape and she creates double eyelids for herself, and she does her makeup to the point where she looks like a different person, and it helps her. Like, she does this after middle school heading into high school, so nobody that knew her before knows her now, so it's kind of like a fresh start. But she's also lying to people, but not really, because it's her own business. But that's just how she feels about it. And she ends up making a friend with this guy who she meets at a bookstore, and they bond over the fact that she gives him like these horror books to read. And he ends up finding out who she is, that because she goes to the bookstore without makeup on, and he recognizes her, I think, by like this keychain thing she has on her backpack, and she ends up having to take the same backpack to school, and part of the keychain snaps off and he figures out it's her, and they become friends. But she's got a crush on him because he's cute and he's really sweet, and he ends up falling in love with her. Looking either way, he doesn't care. He sees her with the makeup on, he sees her without. But things happen. He ends up having to leave the country, and that's as far as I've gotten with that part. But she also becomes friends with an ex-friend of his that they eventually became friends again. Spoilers, there's lots of spoilers in this. And they become the kind of friends where everyone's like, so when are you guys dating? Why aren't you guys dating yet? You know, like, you guys are always together and you're super cute. Like, why don't you date? And he, to her knowledge, has not seen her without makeup on. So that is the interesting part and where I'm at right now with that comic. I really like the art style. I love the humor in it. Oh man, this is a funny. It can be funny. It's more her reactions that are funny, and the artwork that changes when she does something that is hilarious. It is just quality, and I highly suggest checking it out. The second one, and again, this was very hard because the second and the first one are like my favorites. Every time I get an update that these two have updated, I'm just, whoa! And I'm like, should I fast pass it? But I don't, because I'm cheap. And so, the second one is Sirens Lament by Instant Miso. And Sirens, need I say more? So this story follows a girl named Lyra, who is in love with her best friend, who is currently in a relationship at the start of the comic, and I want to say book, but it's the start of the comic. And then she ends up being heartbroken when he decides to go on it, or he goes to help his girlfriend instead of going. They had like plans to go do a bike ride together, and it's raining, and he decides to go ditch her and be with his girlfriend. And Lyra decides to go on her bike ride anyway in the rain. She takes herself to like this cliffside where you can overlook the water, and because of the storm, for whatever reason, the railing is now weak as hell, and she falls off the railing and into the water and right beside a siren. And the siren's curse, we learn, is awesome. So sirens wait for heartbroken humans to get close enough to the water where they can lure them into the water. And then they give them a choice. Become a siren, lose your heartbroken memories, and all you need to do is kiss them. And then you become a siren. That siren becomes human and gets to start a new life. And you start a new life as a siren where you don't need to eat anything, but you're lonely and you can't really engage with other sirens, and you just kind of roam the sea forever until you find a human to swap places with again. Great, right? So, yeah, it's a kind of love triangle, kind of not, between Lyra, her best friend Shone, and Ian, who's the siren. And the thing with Lyra is she has like some special stuff going on with her and ends up splitting the curse with herself and Ian. Ian and her then can go back and forth between land and sea. They can go on land and have legs, and they can go into the water and be sirens. And they're trying to find a way to stop the curse from completely spreading to her so that she loses her memories, because it was a mistake, and so that Ian can still become human. And it is just a fun ride of seeing all the lore. And I mean, there's not much world building. I don't know where they are in the world. It's just like an island or something. There's just like a coast town, and there's some diverse characters in this one, which is really nice. I mean, you can't really tell. Obviously, Laura's Olympus, they're all Greek. Sub-Zero, I want to say they're Asian, but I don't know. Clove has bright red hair and blue eyes, and Cairo has brown hair and I think brown eyes or gold eyes. I don't know what he is. And then True Beauty, I'm pretty sure they're all Korean. But so Sirens Lament has a bit more diversity in it. Ian is ethnically ambiguous. He's got dark skin, but like silver hair. Yeah, like silver hair, so you don't know. And then, but there's some other diverse characters in it, and I love them all. They're all so adorable, and it's just a great comic about love and loss and friendship and loyalty and honesty and just sirens and magic and curses. And so check it out. And last but not least is I Love You. Anyways, it's I Love You with 2 O's, Y-O-O. It is about Shinae Yu. I think I pronounced her name right, Shinae. And the comic starts when she is in high school, I think. Yeah, in high school, and there's flashbacks to the fact that she used to live with her dad, her mom, and her sister. Her mom left her dad when she was a toddler, and she took her sister with her, so she split the family apart. And wherever they are, I think Korea, there was a lot of rumors and nasty things going on about her, and she ended up getting bullied. And her dad's a single dad, and he's working really hard to provide for the both of them. And she ends up becoming friends with this guy, and by extension becoming friends with his sister and her friend. And when the story starts, she's just with her sister and her best friend's sister and his sister's friend, because her best friend is in school in the States. And so they take her to a party, and she's not really a party person. Same, so I can relate. And all she wants to do is eat, and I'm just like, same. I can relate. So I loved her based off that. I'm like, not a party person, check. Love to eat everything in sight, check. Can you bribe me with food, check. And so she goes to this party. She ends up meeting this kid who is she's part of this ridiculous wealthy dysfunctional family, and these rich people think they can do whatever they want to these little people. That's basically the story. There's so much horrible things that happen to this poor girl in the beginning of the story, and it's still ongoing, so there could be more horrible things to happen that have not happened or that I haven't yet to see happen. But she is just an amazing character. She's so funny and kind and honest and just a really hard worker, but she's not someone who will let people step on her. You know, she'll fight for whatever she believes in, and I really, really appreciate it, and how thoughtful she is, and, you know, the way she deals with the relationships in her life. I just think she is a great character, and that overall is why this one is at the top of my list, because I mean, I like the art style. It's not the prettiest of all the artwork that I've listed. There's definitely prettier artwork, like Sub-Zero I think is aesthetically prettier than I Love You, but as well as Sirens Lament, I honestly think is my favorite one of all of them, aesthetically wise. Just the coloring, the way the characters are drawn, everything with that. But I just love the character. I mean, all of these characters, all of these stories are kind of led by female protagonists, and they're just awesome. And there's definitely a level of honesty and honesty and loyalty to all of them. It's just the way they're portrayed is different. I don't know. I just love them all. And so I think you guys should really check it out if you like webtoons, or if you're a reluctant reader like I am sometimes, and don't have the mental capacity to read real books. You like comics, but maybe you don't want to pick out a graphic novel, then you could read this webcomic that is forever and ongoing right now. So that's it, guys. Oh my god, 20 minutes later. I'm definitely gonna have to cut this down. Those are my top 5 webtoon comics that I read in 2019. And if I find more comics in 2020 that I enjoy more so than these, I will update this list. But for now, I'm gonna keep reading these in 2020 and see where they take me. And that's it. And if you, oh my god, how many times can I say and? That's it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please remember to subscribe and follow me on Instagram at Lotus Librarian. And that is it. Until next week, have a lovely, lovely day and week.